All right, hey everybody, Mark Burgess here with Big East Bass Fishing. My son Dakota. Got a little bit of a project right now we kind of want to show you. It's more of a nightmare mess, really. And if I'm being honest, kind of a little hypocritical, really, in a way. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in the snow and ice industry, all phases of it, and was fairly critical of people who were not prepared. And because I came across a lot of people who literally the day of the storm, and here we are early January 7th, I think, 6th or 7th, not sure, with our first significant snowstorm, or really snowstorm for that matter, in several years. Okay, so originally this was planned to be a big nor'easter, you know, 9-12 inches of snow. Of course, now the track determines everything with what you're going to get. So water, the ocean water is still relatively warm. The direction of the wind is going to be primarily east for most of it, and then as the low pulls off, it's going to pull air down. It's going to go from east to northeast to north, cool things down. So you add the moisture, and it's cold now, ground's hard, it's going to stick. We're fairly close to the coast here where we live, but not right on the coast. So my original estimate was about 6 inches. You'd see. So time will tell, but we're probably in the 2 to 6 inch range right now. So my guess is we'll probably end up about 3 inches. So, okay, all that just to kind of tell you that the project that Dakota and I are gonna do today is to retrieve the snowblower from in there, and in there being our shed. Okay, that's a disaster. Now, you also probably know that I'm very diligent with my stabilizer, adding fuel treatment to everything. I just did a little video on the outboard, adding their fuel stabilizer to it and conditioner. So I've done that, you know, to all my cans of gasoline, 2-stroke, 4-stroke, whatever it is. And in the equipment, you know, garden tractor, you know, backpack blowers, weed whackers, generators. I got still 2 portable generators in addition to a whole house generator that runs on natural gas. But yeah, not so much the snowblower, because I said it's been several years since we really needed it. And of course, I've always had a plow. So yeah, we're outside, I believe, of the protection of the stabilizer. So that being said, I fully expect to take the cover off the snowblower to find spoiled fuel. It smelled like varnish, maybe turned into varnish. If that's the case, I'm going to try to clean the carburetor, which I'll show you. I'll bring you that. If not, I'm going to need to replace the carburetor. All this, probably in about 8 hours, the storm's going to start. Okay, so I'm not anticipating needing the snowblower. So if I get the snowblower running, which is my goal, which is Dakota and I's goal, then we'll use it. Okay, so if needed. So if I get it running, maybe we won't have enough to use it. That's the hope. All right, so here we go. We're gonna get after it. All right. Okay, success. Snowblower is out of the shed. Now, I need to determine what the status of the fuel is. And it's kind of locked up, as you can see as well. So now that it's out of the shed, Dakota and I are going to try to get it down to the garage, where we'll get into it a little bit more. I'm going to clean up things a little bit in the shed. The mice have made it their own, so probably grab a couple of masks just so we don't breathe that stuff in, and put the stuff that's going to stay in the shed back in the shed, take the stuff that's going down in the garage down the garage. I got a bunch of stuff that's going to go up to my brother's place. He could use it more than me, so all right. Okay, so we got the snowblower down by the garage, as you can see. So, in the process of draining the old gas out. As I mentioned, it smells okay. It does not smell bad, meaning it doesn't smell like varnish. When fuel's turned bad, it'll smell like varnish. It doesn't look all that great, but mine has saved it. So the plan is, I'm going to drain all the bad fuel out. I'm going to put fresh fuel in it. I'm going to check the plug, and I'm going to see if it'll fire over, if it's got spark, and I'll see if it'll fire over on fresh gas, a little bit of fresh gas. If so, I'll add some conditioner fuel stabilizer to it, and then go through the process. I'll get it warmed up, we'll change the oil, we'll grease it up. There might be a problem with the gear case. It's not going into neutral, I can't roll it, so we'll get to that point and we'll go from there. All right, so let's get after it here. Yeah, we used a two-wheel dolly to get it from the shed down here. I said it wouldn't. It's not making a full revolution. I did take it out of it. Has a differential lock in it that allows to both wheels to basically pull in the same direction, you know, for traction. And then you take it out, you unlock it, so that they move independently so you can steer it better. So it might just be that. Fresh fuel in here. Alright, so we're gonna add a little fresh fuel in here. even though we're doing this, the carburetor bowl itself is a lot smaller container, if you will, than the fuel tank. So even though the fuel in the fuel tank seems okay, the bowl in the carburetor may not be. Out of the way. Just going to add enough fuel just to see if it'll fire up. Shut it off just yet. So as you can see, it runs. So I had checked the oil previously. Saw we drained all the old fuel out of it. Pardon the runny nose. So she runs. Things are a little sticky. Transmission's a little sticky, but it moved. We're back and forth. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to warm up thoroughly. I'm going to drain the oil out of it, change the oil. Going to grease everything. Going to put more fresh fuel in it and some stabilizer, and we should be good to go. So mission accomplished. So far, a lot less of a project than I thought it was going to be. I really thought the fuel was going to be bad, and I'd have to take that carburetor off, replace the car, clean it, you know, at the very least, and or replace it. So. Going to go ahead and stop the video right here. We'll pick it back up on the other side when we get it inside, change the oil and greasing it up, and just do the finishing touches on it and get ready for the storm. have it. Mission accomplished. We got the shed kind of more or less than more cleaned out. Got to the snowblower. Thankfully the fuel wasn't bad. Thankfully the fuel wasn't bad in the carburetor. Nothing was gummed up. So we added some fresh fuel to it, some stabilizer, changed the oil, greased it up, blew wind in the tires, sprayed down all the movable points with lubricant, ready to go. All right, so went a lot better than I expected. Here we are just a few hours before the storm supposedly is going to hit. Of course, it's been downgraded, but with the nor'easter, you never know, 50 miles either way, and you get whacked or you get rain. But either way, it is going to go cold once it moves out. So whatever moisture's left, you know, we're going to get it. So all right, I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of I'll create a playlist, behind the scenes kind of thing, that kind of stuff, not necessarily related to fishing, but more or less my life, family's life, when we're not fishing. All right, everybody, if you are in the path of the storm, be safe, and we'll see you soon.